I guarantee you, if you are not prioritizing everything that you need to get done in life, you are going to continue to fall for the wrong girl in life. For at least 3 to 5 years of my life was wasted. It's time spent that I can't get back in relationships that didn't better me. Maybe they taught me what I didn't need to look for, but I could have learned that on my own. I could have learned that in such quicker progress if I would have learned it on my own. But instead, I decided to learn that from someone else. Decided to learn that from my own experience that I have to go through these hardships. I'm doing something wrong, and because of that, I had to learn from it. So, I was in a relationship for 3 years and then another relationship for 2 years. And both those relationships were not the person that I was intending to end my life with, which asks the question, why was I even in that relationship? Why am I getting into a relationship if my goal is not to marry this woman, if my goal is not to have a life with this woman? I didn't realize how far I was setting myself back. Because now that I've found someone, now that I'm putting in that work each and every day, it makes so much sense why I'm doing this stuff. It didn't make sense though, thinking back to 2 to 4 years ago, why I was doing some of the things that I did, why I wasn't sticking to some type of routine, why I wasn't building a life that I wanted, why I wasn't putting myself to God, that way that the woman that I needed in my life would come to me rather than me having to chase them. A lot of guys out here, they just chase instead of attract. You need to attract a high value woman. You need to attract God in your life. You can't just be chasing them. You need to put these things into your life by building a foundation, by building a disciplined life, by building some type of system, some type of mindset that breaks you free from everyone else. Every girl that I chased had chaos in their life. And what did I think was going to happen? I thought by me jumping in there, me getting into a relationship where maybe I thought that I could help the person, maybe I thought that I could take care of them, maybe I thought that they had a bad life and that I could change that. I guarantee you, if that is your solution to the problem, it is going nowhere. Because I told myself that I was the person that needed to solve the problems, I put too much weight on myself. I was unhappy, I was stressed out, I was anxious, I was in a relationship that didn't benefit me. Every girl that I chased had chaos in their life. And it wasn't the fact that I didn't have chaos, it was the fact that my life was so chaotic itself. I thought adding a person to it, adding chaos would solve it. But that was the last thing that I needed for my life. Because I decided to add chaos, because I decided to stack these bricks on top of each other, once they all came crashing down, guess who was at the forefront? It was me, the person that was stuck at the bottom, that didn't know what to do, that was held out strung like a towel. I was the person that was not optimistic about what he was doing in life, but I had to change that. Once I had that breakoff point, once I realized like, hey, this is for me and only me. I just got out of a shitty relationship. I'm never going to put myself into that position again. Once I realized that was for me, my life completely changed because trauma bonding feels so much like love. It feels like love when the person that you are trying to have a significant other with is having trauma in life, and so are you, and you're just battling it back and forth. But I promise you that is not where you need to be. If you are in a relationship right now and you don't have everything figured out, you don't have a way to support you, your family, her, and the people around you while making everyone happy, while building a business, while having a job, while working out, while eating clean. If you can't do all of that, why are you in a relationship? You cannot even put yourself in a position of high altitude. Why do you think you can do that to another person? You can't even push yourself every day to wake up early to get to your task. How do you plan to lead someone else? How do you plan to lead a significant other if you can't even lead yourself in the morning and start your days right? How are you going to break out of this old character loop if you can't even, how are you going to care for someone else if you can't even break out of this old character? You're still a sad little boy that is immature, that still has feelings in a bigger body. But I promise you, once you break off that by becoming more spiritual with God, by getting a ripped physique, by eating clean, by getting disciplined each and every day, the girl that you want, I promise you, she will follow. The girl that you think you need in your life, she will come because you're attracting her. She sees what you're doing each and every day. She sees the input. She sees the output, what you're getting. And because of those results, that is what's getting you not only to that next height, but it's also getting you to the girl that you want. If you want the girl that you want, Put in the work. Stop wasting time. Put in the work each and every day. Act like the next day, if you didn't continue this, you're not going to get a girl. You're not going to get the wife that you want. You're not going to build the life you want. You're not going to get the business you want. You're not going to get the friends that you want. And I'm not talking about the shitty friends. I'm talking about the business friends, the friends that are making money, that are actually always talking about business. Because when I talk about business with friends, it's very minimal. But when I do it, it's the most enjoyable time. Because I'm making sure that I'm spending the time that I need in the areas of life that I need to. I'm not wasting time partying, drinking, hanging out, doing stupid shit. You know, I still like to have fun. I still like to go to raves. I still like to go every 2 or 3 weeks out. But I have a disciplined, set track of where I want to be and how I'm going to get there. In my past relationships, I was too focused on lust, too focused on temporary feelings. In my current relationship, the main focus that we both have is God. As long as we both have God at the center of our life and the center of our relationship, we are moving forward. We are happy. We are content in life. But I kid you not, the days where we don't focus on God, we have fights. The days where we aren't putting God first over ourselves, we have fights. And there's a reason for that, and it's because God creates a foundation. He creates morals for you. He creates some type of justice system for you to follow and to keep track of. If you don't have a base moral line, how do you expect for someone to look at you and have respect? How do you expect someone to look at you and think that person can be responsible for taking care of me? It's not going to happen unless you give yourself to God, become more spiritual, become more physically active, and become more mentally resilient in your life. If you can do all that, the woman that you want, she will follow, and you will stop falling for this wrong woman. I guarantee you, once I made that step to break out of my old habits and to stop falling for the wrong women that are focused on lust and focused on temporary things, and you focus on a woman that is focused on children, God, herself, and the future with you, your life is not only going to be much happier, as you can see me, I'm making YouTube videos, but you're going to have so much more willpower to get shit done. Once you actually have someone in your corner backing you up, saying, hey, do this, I'm proud of you, this and that, you're going to feel so much more content in life. You're going to feel so much more fulfilled than in that last relationship that you were in. This has been Jonathan Mitchell. Take one thing from this video. I promise you, take one thing from this video and implement it into your life. Little flex section, but I'll see you guys in the next one.